All right, this morning we are looking at Air Media Group Incorporated, or AMCN. Currently 30 minutes into the market open, it is about 4 times the average volume. It's looking kind of slow this morning. This the only play that I currently like that has its EMAs corrected and decent volume, although not the best volume. And we will see if we can't hit our buy target at under 248 currently. All right. Well, I was hoping to play AMCN, but right now it's just the volume is just not the same as the morning. And although it is dropping down into our 50 buy-in target, right now it is only up about 12%, which means not a lot of bull strength on this move. And this feels like a lot more risk than what it's worth right now. So, we will keep an eye on it, but right now we are also searching for other plays, and it is a very slow morning. We'll see if we can't find one. Well, next up on the volume list is Payment Data Systems, or PYDS. And although it is actually coming up on just about 8 times the average volume, the EMAs are still very unaligned, and we just gotta wait for the EMAs to correct themselves. But right now, it's looking like a lot of volume is in here today. I just cannot buy it unless the EMAs are corrected. So we'll see if we can't pop this thing higher, and we'll be able to play it. Other than that, we are just watching so far. Just a little bit of an update on PYDS. 50 has just crossed over the 250. This is the 100, which are also waiting to cross over the 250. It's, as long as it stays above here, it's looking like the EMAs are on a route to correct themselves. If we look over to the 200 EMA, it's neck and neck with the 250. So it's looking good so far, and we just gotta stay patient here and wait for it to all correct itself before we start laying down some key targets. Just a minor update. Came down near the 50 range, and it bounced back, which is a really good sign. Although it's still sort of flatlining right here. The EMAs are pretty much flatline right now, and next couple minutes will determine where it wants to go for the day, I believe. The EMAs want to correct themselves, but they're too close to the actual bid and ask, and it can easily go down just as fast as it can go up. So, yeah, we're still observing this play at this point. Just waiting for the 100 to cross the 250, and this 50 may really needs to start climbing soon. All right, just a minor update. It did attempt to pass over $2 again, but failed. It was looking good if it did, but it got rejected, and is now under the 50. This 100 is still not past the 250, and a lot of the volume is actually drying up, and I don't think the Bulls are going to win this one today, but there's still some time left in the market for a good buy-in price if it decides to rocket back up. But as of now, the $2 range seems to have held strong, and the shorts are most likely going to pile on this one, considering the EMAs are still unaligned. All right, so it looks like PYDS survived the short attack, and it had rumbled all the way down to the 185s, 187 area, and came right back up to the twos, and it is currently over $2, which I was referring to as a critical point, and that's a very good sign for us. The EMAs have now corrected themselves. The 100 is above the 250. And let's double check on the 200 here. And I know it's kind of hard to see, but it is above the 250, albeit probably like a 3/4 of a penny. But it is above the 250, and yeah, it's only gonna separate itself higher. But yep, we survived the short attack, and can't see if we can't buy in. Our target now is 190 and under. And yeah, we'll see if we can't push more volume through this thing. And that was a pretty good recovery considering the EMAs were not on our side at that moment. But right now we are aiming for 190 and under. All right, so after that $2 break, it went ahead and jumped all the way up to the 230 range. And our dip buy target is right under 203. But that was a strong move. A lot more volume came in on that. And yeah, we are still staying patient on this one and waiting for our target to come in. Well, that was one hell of a run. It went as high as 260, and it might be taking a breather here. 50 EMA is right at around 226 and under. The 100 is 210, and I believe this is around 2. So we'll still try to aim at the dip under 226 with a tight stop loss. But that should be a decent buy-in, right around a 30-cent margin from the high of day. So we'll see if we can't get down there. It's looking like it wants to downtrend now. But the volume was good on that run, and we'll see if we can't get under here. Well, I am not getting the dip that I wanted. It almost fell below the 50 right here, right around the 238 mark. But it did not rocked back up to the 257s, high 250s. And right now the 50 EMA is right at 240 pretty much. And a 10-cent or 15-cent margin is not a very good point of a risk. So we might be aiming for below the 100 EMA here, because looks like the 50 EMA is just getting closer and closer to the bid and ask price right now, which is not a good sign. We needed it. We either need to move to a new channel up here over 260, or this thing's gonna fall well below the 50 EMA. But yeah, we're gonna observe now. Being patient so far. Well, it looks like we were not able to play PYDS this time. So yeah, the only time it dipped under the 50 EMA was right here at around 190. And by then, the 100 was still trying to climb over the 250, and it just wasn't over it at that point for me to buy in. And by the time it did cross over, it sort of was taking off, and I wanted to buy the dip under the 50 EMA, and it just wouldn't go under it. Right here, it was 238, 239, 50 was around 234, about 4 cents away. Got close right here, about 2 cents away from the dip, another 2 cents away. Just would not drop under the 50 EMA, and by then it was just too late in the day for a real buy. So you can see there will be no bounce back under that, because people have made their profit from the day. Their averages are way over here. So yeah, was not able to play this one. Would have really liked to, but sometimes it doesn't dip under the 50, and I have to stick to my strategy and my system and what keeps me safe. So I didn't buy into it. And the other stock that we were trying to trade in the morning, Air Media Group, like I said, I didn't like the drop here, and although it did bounce for a few cents from 248 to 256, like I said, it was just not enough bull volume, as in the percentage-wise was still under 10%, right around here, and yeah, it just faded all day. PYDS was definitely the play, and if you are still in this one, the only chance you got is doing a super quick scalp under the 250 EMA and hoping that it recovers a little bit on a short cover at the end of day. But yeah, it looks like that one dip under the 50 EMA was the only chance to get in at this point. And it's sad when you see something run and run and run and you want to buy in, but just didn't get the dip I wanted. And it's always nice to be able to trade another day and not lose your shirt. So we're going to focus on another trade tomorrow.